Yo, what is going on, homies? It's your boy StumpD back for the OPTC video, and in today's video, the Super Boss Pirate Alliance KIZUNA Clash vs Brook is live, and in today's video, we will be testing the 10-star teams. We have our Marco teams for assists, we have our one team versus all that does not use the new batch, and then we have my one team versus all that I had to tweak just a little bit. So, before we dive in, as always, if you guys enjoy this kind of stuff, pull the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that juicy good stuff to help your brother out. But let's take a look at the character that we will be farming. Now, this particular character is a 5+ character, and this is a Super Boss KIZUNA character. So these characters are stereotypically very, very good. As you can see, it's a free spirit slash a DEX Brook. Awesome source. Maxing at 13 turn cooldown. Has hunger, has pinch healing crit. Very, very good limit breaks. And also has a very interesting support that allows you to freely swap slots 2 times at the start of the final battle. Very interesting. Goes on any deck slasher. So, very interesting character. Let's take a look at what he actually does. To pick up his skulls, you do need to get them from the KIZUNA boxes. So, make sure you guys are doing your assists, getting your Super Boss runs. So that way you can get as many tickets as possible. Now, in today's video, we are focusing on the 10-star event. Not Super Boss, the 10-star event. I want to make that very, very clear. Brook's captain at 5+ is a 4 times attack boost, HP 1.2. Attack by 4.25 when they have a recovery or tandem orb. Reduces damage by 10%, again, I just keep doing this, and then makes free spirit and slashes recovery and tandem slots have matching slot effects. I would have loved if it was just like every color orb except for recovery tandem, because you can just run the Aura Jackson with free spirit and slashes and you get that anyway. So I don't know, it kind of opens it off in different ships, but it's kind of not needed at the same time. He's special. This is where you will most likely use this unit. He removes blind and attack down by 6 turn, changes character slot to tandem and adjacent slots to recovery, allows you to freely change slots twice, and makes it easier to land perfects for 3 turns. He boosts the crew's base attack by 750, and if you land 3 perfects, he does a base attack boost for 5,000 for the next turn. So, nice utility, nice damage output with base attack. Base attack isn't as good as it was when it first released, however, getting it to carry into the next stage is very interesting. He also has hunger, that is a big upside to this unit. His crewmate abilities give base stats to free spirits and slashes, and he makes recovery and tandem slots have matching slot effects to those 2 classes. So he's a pretty good free-to-play character, definitely farm him up. He's nothing like insane, but it will be cool to see what we can actually do with this character for maybe stuff like Grand Voyage Morgans or something like that moving forward. But with that said, let's dive into the content. Alright, so the first variation that we're going to take on today is the strength variation, and we're going to kick it off with the Marco teams. Now, Marco is amazing if you guys want to farm XP. Now, if you guys really want to farm out ticket growth, then use, like, the point boosted characters if you have them. Alright, so we're going to start it off with strength over here on the 10-star events. And we're going to kick it off with Marco teams. Now, Marco is very, very good if you guys want to farm XP for your assists. The KIZUNA stages give a lot of XP, which is very, very handy. So if you guys want to get like up a lot of pirate levels very quickly, farming XP here is actually very, very nice. Now, if you want more tickets to get the KIZUNA skulls, if you guys are struggling there, obviously you can bring a friend captain Luffy, and that is going to work quite well. Honestly, Luffy's like a fighter, so you could probably make this work doing Marco Luffy strats. Luffy also boosts fighter characters too, so you could probably do some shenanigans there if you want to get tickets and XP together. But for this particular team, as you guys saw, we used the super class of Marco on turn 1. Marco gives lots of cooldowns, and on this variation, he doesn't get cooldowns himself. On stage 2, where there's 5 turns of threshold, to remove that, we have Beppo, Sachi, and Penguin. They're just going to literally remove the 5 turns of threshold. They give us a full board of matching orbs as well, which is quite nice. And we have the carryover effect from the super class of Marco to give ourselves an attack boost here. We're going to pop the other super class literally just to get some more cooldowns. No other reason, literally just that. And look, it's a little bit of damage, I guess. Once we've done that, we can kill here. We can move on to the next stage. Now, this is actually the special interrupt. Now, if you get Zoro Sanji, they actually give you a 2.75 rainbow orb boost for your entire team, which is actually very, very nice. Very, very handy. As if you are doing these like one team versus alls, it can be a little challenging to find spots for every buff, and this orb boost might help you guys out if you guys are struggling there. On the final stage against Brook for this particular team, we are utilizing Luffy as our color affinity booster. He's also going to rotate those nasty block orbs. To get around the attack down, we have Robin and Jinbei. All those supports are kind of like extras. You don't actually need them. Sengoku on this stage is actually interesting, right? Because you can use him to remove attack down, And if you get the orb buff, he's our orb booster for this team as well. If you actually get that massive orb buff, you can still use him to actually remove the attack down and get the Suru support to proc. Suru's great because she can actually get around the resilience on this particular stage. It's very, very annoying, the resilience, so make sure you have a way around that. And then we have the ace support on our Luffy, just to give us 2 matching orbs on our bottom row. Luffy's going to give himself a matching orb, but randomize like our orbs. And then with the switchability of Robin and Jinbei, we can actually give us some more orbs as well. Robin and Jinbei, they don't really need an orb. Their special just gives us base stats. They can remove the attack down completely. If you don't have them, don't stress. Like, you could easily run something else. They're basically just here for base stats. If you have another like booster in mind, maybe a conditional booster like Nami, I don't really know what Nami you would use, but like you can use a conditional boost there anyway. So that was Marco. Let's move on to the one team versus all with no batch units. And once again, shout out to the homie Sim City for the team build on this one. He actually put this team together, so very grateful for that, my guy. Thank you so much. This team actually works amazingly. I was talking to him in our voice chat when KIZUNA went live, and he was saying like this team does absolute bits. It does over like 1 billion damage, and Toki with these 10-star KIZUNA events sort of just gets better and better, because with your 2 boosted units, if you have the 2 boosted units as well, you can literally just give them the Toki ability, and you're going to be in good stead for all your damage, because they have rainbow damage. You just got to get a color affinity booster on the team, and you can actually just wipe the stage, which works very, very nicely. But Toki's also great with under K-Dad. And with K-Dad's addition, you can actually get that sort of resurgence. To get around the threshold for this turn, we actually utilize the Bobbins special. Bobbins is great here. He can just remove the threshold, the damage reduction, and the attack down on all of the stages. But for this team, he removes the threshold. Toki, we're going to apply the Toki ability to 2 of our units. Ideally, give it to the 2 units that have color affinity on the final stage. It makes the most sense. And then with the Jinbei support, you actually lock those orbs too, which is actually very, very nice. On the final stage against Brook, for this particular variation, the strength variation, he is going to put up 5 turns of resilience, which will turn to 6. And then he also gives us a full border block orbs. Kawamatsu here is going to be our color affinity booster. We have Brook to rotate block orbs. K-Dad's also going to rotate block orbs too. So if you don't have Brook here, you can just use any other chain booster. You can use any other, what's it called? Use any other chain booster, or you can use any other like chain locker or chain boundary unit. Just as long as they are slashes or free spirits or strength dex quick, you should be in good stead. So there you guys go. Luffy, he can remove the resilience. You got to bring a friend captain Luffy, but the idea here is obviously to get your gains of your tickets. Alright, so the big old Wayland team for the strength variation looks a little bit like this. Now these fights are past level 30, so I have hit level 30 for the whale teams. So this one team versus all with the new characters is showcasing past level 30. I did speak to my boy Sam as well. He did mention that his team is doing absolute bits. It's doing like, he said something like upwards of like 1 billion damage across all variations. So that shouldn't have any issues if you guys didn't pull for these boosted units and you are using the team that you just saw. We actually get the Zoro and Sanji interrupt on this particular stage, which is actually very, very nice, because they're going to give us a 2.75 times orb boost. Nevertheless, it doesn't matter too much, because Kinemon and Dendro were going to give us a 2.75 times orb boost anyway. Once we take them out, we can move on to the final stage. If you have an orb boost here too, by the way, they're actually not going to give you an orb boost, so just be careful what specials you're using if you do see them pop up. On the final stage against Brook, after level 30, he is going to give us 2 turns of hunger. So hunger is very, very annoying. So Hiyori, Chopper, they're actually going to remove that. You get 6 turns of attack down, and he has 6 turns of resilience. To remove the attack down, we have Chopper. To remove the resilience, we have Luffy and his end of turn damage. We have base stats with Kinemon Dendro. We have a 2.75 times orb boost with Kinemon Dendro. We have a lot of type advantage for this particular fight too. Literally everyone is hitting with color affinity. And we also have a color affinity buff thanks to Kuzan as well. So this particular team will do no issues against this particular fight, but it will start to struggle against some of the other fights. As you can see there, no dramas whatsoever. So that was the strength variation. Let's move on to DEX now. Alright, so moving on to verse DEX now. We are starting off with the Marco team, and the Marco team looks a little bit like this, just like you guys saw in the prep video. And this team, it actually works astoundingly well. Like, there's so much damage in this team that that's not even funny. You have like chain shenanigans with ulti, you have rainbow orbs with Straw Hat Crew, You have damage null removing with bullet. You have an orb boost with Sengoku. It all just works out super, super nice. For this team to work, though, you do want to make sure that you actually have your bullet at level limit break 5. If you don't have bullet level limit break 5, you'll have to find another damage null remover, and it needs to be 2 turns of damage null. You could bring Kate on this team if you want to. Like, they're not going to get boosted onto Marco, but you have that extra spot, as Marco just needs 5 fighter characters to make him work. If you have 5 fighter characters, you're in good stead. If you don't, you are going to be in bad stead. We actually got Zoro and Sanji once again here. Now, on stage 2 of this strength variation, you have 5 turns... Sorry, the dex variation. There's 5 turns of damage reduction. This damage reduction was giving me so many headaches with my one team versus all, just because I was struggling with damage. But for this particular fight, or this team, we have the support of Mr. One, as well as the support of Ace. Now, they are some pretty hefty supports, but you could easily just utilize a character to get around that. Probably a character to replace ulti with the be your best option, as Sengoku can also remove attack down on the final stage as well. On the final stage against Brook, after level 30, he'll actually give you like 6 turns of attack down. He puts up 2 turns of damage null, gives you a full board of unfavorable orbs, and makes, or gives you a full board of type slots, and then makes all type slots unfavorable, which is very, very annoying. As I mentioned, we have an attack boost with Marco, we have a chain boost with Marco, we have color affinity with, what do we have color? Who gives us color affinity? I can't remember. But, as you guys saw there, no issues whatsoever. It's going to work for a very long time. I think we use Kuma, the Kuma support, actually, to get color affinity on ulti. Works pretty nicely. Alright, so for Sims 1 team all versus Dex variation, once again, let's dive in. I'm about to say, like, saying this is the team, those are the supports, let's dive in. Well, obviously they are. We've seen it. Like, it's that. So, moving on to the Dex variation here. I tried to do stuff like use K-Dad's super class here, but unfortunately the super class just wouldn't kill the turtles. It was so annoying. I think it's actually in the video. Yeah, I actually did it, like, right here. I was like, surely this is a kill. But these turtles, they have a lot of defense. Like, a lot of defense. Which is a little bit annoying, because it means I actually lost one of my one orbs. But look, nevertheless, it wasn't that big of a deal. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Moving on to stage 2, Luffy puts up damage reduction. And for this particular team to get around damage reduction, we have trusty old Bobbins. Bobbins, like I said, Bobbins is so good at removing all of the negative effects on turn 2. And then we just need to activate Toki and literally just give the Toki ability to one character that has type advantage. So for this fight, we are giving it to either K-Dad or Toki, but because I stuffed up and Toki didn't have a 1 orb, I wanted to make sure I gave it to K-Dad. Remember, you have the final tap of K-Dad as well, and if you have that quite high, you are going to do a lot of damage. On the final stage against Brook, you get a full board of type slots. He makes them unfavorable. You get 6 turns of attack down, and there's 2 turns of damage null. Just be mindful, 2 turns. So K-Dad is so good here. You can remove the 2 turns of that. Kawamatsu gives color affinity. You have a chain boost with Brook. Luffy's also going to literally do nothing for this particular team, except for lockout slots, I guess. Yeah, cool. Good job. I don't know why I'm just sort of spamming specials here. You got to make sure you use K-Dad to get around the damage null, and as you guys will see there, with the Toki ability, you're doing a lot of damage. If you're hitting with the back end, you're going to do even more damage. And onto the whale team now, the big old one team versus all. Looks a little bit like this. Now, as I mentioned, we have Kuzan, we have Kinemon Dendro, we have Hiyori on this team. I actually had to do like a full shake-up with this team, to be honest. The first team that I did, I just completely changed. This team has more damage. It is more reliable, obviously, with Hiyori and not worrying about super block orbs. And it also helps with the all orbs are unfavorable shenanigans. We have Chopper for that too, but with this particular team, with another stage, Chopper actually is used on stage 2. For this particular team, we have to use Kinemon Dendro. Now, Kinemon Dendro is great on the final stage. However, you just really got to get around that damage reduction. It's not essential to get around damage reduction. However, it is something that you really want to make sure that you are looking at. If you, like, pop enough specials, you can burst through it, but, like, it's probably just easier to remove. On the final stage against Brook, like I said, you get full board of type slots that are unfavorable. He also has 2 turns of damage null now, because this is after level 30, and as you can see, he has 6 turns of attack down. So, getting around the attack down is a little bit annoying, but that's why we have our good friend Chopper. Chopper's going to remove all of that. We're going to use Luffy as our attack booster. The plus bluff of Chopper is going to make our attack nice and chunky. We have the support of Sabo for base stats on our Luffy. And then we have color affinity and orb boost with Kuzan. Once we've done that, we get the chain lock of... What's his name as well? What did I do wrong here? Nope. Okay. Interesting. Seemed like I did. Oh, so Kinemon and Dendro actually... No, they're free spirit. They should be getting boosted. That was weird. It felt like I wasn't doing damage. They must have a pretty chunky defense up. Oh well, on to the next variation. And moving on to quick now, we're going to kick it off with our Marco team. And this team actually does bits as well. This team's actually a lot of fun. Moves very, very nicely, moves very, very smoothly, and has a lot of buffs. So, again, if you guys want XP, Marco is going to be your best friend in these situations. Because Marco, he just gives you so much XP. And it's just so hunky-dory. It's just so amazing. So, on turn 1, we are going to activate our super class, so that way we get the attack boost on stage 2. Very important that you do that, mainly so that you can actually get the chain boost on the final stage. And that way you just sort of get some cooldowns. We have Blackbeard here. Blackbeard has a monstrous amount of cooldowns, like an absolute monstrous amount. So you kind of want to try and get him max. And with Marco, it's actually very, very doable. So activate the super class, kill the turtles. Remember they have a lot of defense, and then just move on. Bink, bink, bink. Beautiful. Once you move on to stage 2, we're actually going to activate the Straw Hat Crew special. Straw Hat Crew, because we have 2 buffs, is going to give us a full board of Rainbow Orbs and actually lock them, which is great. We're going to extend Marco's attack boost as well by 1 turn, so you actually get Marco's attack boost for the final stage, which is pretty nice, because that means we just don't have to activate another Marco special, which is awesome, to be honest. It's really, really cool. So Straw Hats here, their design here is just to avoid the super block slots, which is very, very nice. To get around all the attack down, we're literally using supports here, which is super, super handy. 5 turns of attack down is normally pretty hefty, but as you guys saw there, we had Tashigi. You could use Cat Viper as well. We had Lucci on... No, we had Kaku on Lucci, and then we had Treasure Map Shiryu on our Blackbeard. So that all works out pretty hunky-dory. Activating Straw Hats here means we're going to absolutely decimate our boy Chopper. We're also going to hold on to those rainbow slots, which means once we move into the final stage, we don't have to worry about Super Block. Super Block slots are becoming more and more of a thing, and characters like Straw Hat Crew, characters like Hiyori, any character that can give you rainbow orbs, can lock them, just like Hiyori and Straw Hat Crew can do, are going to be very, very handy moving forward. So hopefully you guys have picked up these characters. Hopefully you guys have maxed them out, because they are just, like I said, they're going to be absolute god tiers moving forward. I think this is when Super Boss went live, and I was like watching some of my teammates like play, so I do apologize about the laggy gameplay. But nevertheless, we should be fine. On the final stage, we're going to have color affinity with our Bond Clay unit. Bond Clay is also going to remove the threshold, which is super nice. Blackbeard is going to set the defense to 0, which is super handy, because after level 30, there is a defense up debuff. Blackbeard is also a base stat booster. However, Lucci is going to be our base stat booster here. So for right now, like, all we have to do is go Bond Clay to remove the threshold. He gives us color affinity as well. And then with Lucci, we get the orbs, we get the base stats, we get the carryover of Marco, and as you guys will see there, it's like wham bam, thank you man, easy peasy. So that's the Marco team. Let's move on to the Sims 1 team versus all. And the 1 team versus all, once again, looks like this. And the reason we actually have Brook on this particular team is to get a little bit more color affinity, as Brook really doesn't provide too much else for this particular team. He's a chain booster, which is awesome. However, his big upside here is that he just has color affinity. It means he's hitting a lot harder, as we are going to give him Toki. And remember, we have a chain boost with Brook, so all of the back-ended damage is going to be very, very nice. To get around the attack down on stage 2, once again, we have our GOAT, Mr. Bobbins. Bobbins, again, if you guys have Bobbins, he's just so good for stage 2, because he's a free spirit slasher, so he gets cooldowns. And he's a strength dex or quick unit. So he gets cooldowns across every single stage. So if you're struggling on stage 2, just bring Bobbins. He's going to help you guys out. He's the boy. On stage 2, you're going to get 5 turns of attack down. But with this team, K-Dad actually just removes it as your captain, which is great. So Bobbins is actually going to help us out more on the final stage, as we can actually remove the defense up, because there's 5 turns of defense up after level 30. So Bobbins he's just a goat, man. He's just a goat. He also removes the threshold. However, after level 30, there's actually 6 turns. But don't stress. We're bringing a friend captain, Luffy. Luffy can remove the threshold there, and it's all hunky-dory. Make sure to activate the super class of K-Dad on this stage as well. Toki with the Jinbei support is going to lock the orbs. Very important that you guys do that. Make sure, don't forget to activate Toki. Otherwise, you will be in for a bad time, basically, if you don't activate Toki. On the final stage, there's 5 turns of threshold. I thought you got full board of super block orbs. I might have been bugging there, but look, it is what it is. Maybe they rotate, like, normal slots into super block. Yeah, maybe they just turn type slots into super block. Interesting. Nevertheless, the team works like an absolute dreamboat. Once again, huge shout out to Sim, and thank you for your team building prowess. And the final team of the video is the big old Wayland team. Now, this is why I actually added Hiyori to my team, because we wanted to get around the Super Block orbs. Super Block, like I said, it's becoming more of a thing, and Straw Hat Crew and Hiyori are two of the big ones that can give you two types of matching orbs that just cannot be manipulated. I really wish that Kid, with his Super Bomb orbs, he also locked orbs with his Super Evolution that we literally are getting from this KIZUNA. However, it just wasn't meant to be. He just gives you the Super Bomb orbs and then just says, see you later. But nevertheless, he's still an interesting 6+. A pretty good 6+ nonetheless. To get around the attack down for this particular fight, we are going to activate our Chopper special. Chopper is going to remove the attack down and is going to give us the plus buff. We can then activate Hiyori just so we can actually get ourselves some Wano slots, and then we're just going to lock them. Now, if you guys are struggling for damage here, don't be afraid to pop one of your Luffy specials. But as you guys will see here, Wano slots, they're very, very strong. They'll actually help you out a lot. You can actually just kill there. No issues whatsoever. Moving on to the final stage against Brook. Brook is going to give us normal attacks only. He then gives us a full body Super Block orbs. He puts up 5 turns of defense up, 6 turns of thresholds, and that's basically it, besides the Super Block. So for this particular fight, we have Luffy to give us an attack boost. It's also going to remove the threshold. To remove the defense up, we have K-Dad. I just realized K-Dad removes defense up, so you don't even have to worry about the Onami support. You can replace Onami. Unless you got to the end of this video and realized that you don't need Onami. I'm an absolute space cadet. You can completely replace Onami with a stat booster, anything at all, really. Like, anything at all. But you have base stats, you have color affinity, you have a chain lock, and basically everything just sort of works out in our favor here. The VV support comes in clutch too. As you guys see there, 128 mil. With one Luffy hit is very, very nice. He has the Sabo support though, and it is gonna do work for quite a while. But obviously, once you start getting to about level 60, you are gonna have to sort of start looking at like making one teams anyway. But that's gonna wrap up the video, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this one. If you did, make sure to belt the like button. Hopefully, you guys are building Super Boss teams nicely. Stay tuned. We might release a video for that. I'm not 100% sure. But if you enjoyed this video, belt the like button, hit the subscribe button, do all that good stuff. Most importantly, enjoy the rest of your day wherever you are in this beautiful world. I'll catch you all. Well, thank you for watching, and I'll catch you all in the next one. Later!